can't remember what it's about. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. Ugh. I feel kind of meh about that synopsis, not gonna lie. Hey friends, it's Sarah, and today I am hopefully gonna get rid of some books. As you can see, I am in a different-ish location. I am sitting on the floor next to my bookshelf because this shelf right here is my owned TBR shelf. And you can probably see it's a little jam-packed. And I have some books on here that I've been meaning to read for ages and I've never gotten around to, and I don't even know what they're about anymore because I've had them for so long. So I thought it would be good to get rid of some of them and make room for the other books that I do really want to read because they're kind of like overflowing up here. Like I own these ones too, and it's overflowing into my library shelf, and it's a whole mess. So let's try and get rid of some stuff. First, I have a little pile here of books that I've kind of been collecting that I do want to get rid of, and I just haven't gotten a chance to actually go out and put them in libraries or give them to Goodwill or whatever. So I thought I'd talk about those first, and then we'll go through my shelf together and find some stuff to donate. So first up, I have The Mismatch by Sarah Jafari, and this I got from a secondhand bookstore. Actually, I had seen it on the shelves at work, and the cover is really cute, and I think one of the booktubers that I follow had recommended it, and so I read it. You can see I've got like 2 little baby tabs in there, and just felt really like meh about it. I think I gave it like 3 stars, but I honestly don't remember a ton about it, and I read this in May. So that kind of tells you how much of an impact it had. But it follows Soraya, who has just graduated from university, and she's from a Middle Eastern family, and she feels very like lacking in life experience. So she kisses like the popular boy, and then they kind of have like a friends with benefits thing going on, so she can kind of basically like practice for like having a boyfriend. And then it kind of like snowballs into like her falling for him, and it also follows her mother when her mother was her age, and kind of like her story and how she like fled from Iran. So it did have some like interesting themes around like immigration and like relationships, and there was some discussion around addiction and drug abuse as well, which was good. But overall, it just like didn't really make a huge impact on me to the point where I like want to keep it around. And I'm like, it's cute, and I like how floppy it is, and like the pages and everything. I like how it feels in my hands, but I think someone else will enjoy this more than I will. So I'm going to put it in a little free library somewhere and someone else can enjoy it. Up next is an ARC I got that I was really excited about, and that is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Pickwick Papers. And I read their YA book, Pet, and like enjoyed that. That was good. And this is their first romance, so I thought I'd give it a try. And also Jessie from Bow Ties and Books, they love Okwueke's writing so much, so I kind of like let their hype really hype me up too. But I started reading this, and you can see this is how far I got. Yeah, I got to page 119, and then I couldn't do it. To explain why I couldn't do it, why I couldn't finish this, why I ended up DNFing it, let me tell you the synopsis. Basically, our main character's husband died several years ago, and she's kind of like just starting to come out of her grief a bit and be in a place where she wants to start dating again. So she kind of befriends this guy who she knows really is like into her, but she's not quite sure if she wants a relationship with him, so they're kind of like taking it real slow, like glacial pace, where they're like friends and like sometimes maybe they'll like kiss. But he invites her to like his family's home on this like tropical island, and it turns out his dad is like a celebrity chef and he's like super fancy and bougie. But when they get there, she starts to fall for his father. And that, so you can see this little yellow flag here. That's when they first mention that the dad is like a celebrity chef, and I'm like, oh god, please don't fall in love with the dad. Don't do it. And she went and did it, and I could not do it. I can't. This is a kind of forbidden romance I can't do, because she's here with a guy who she's kind of been like, yeah, I'm gonna try and be in a relationship with you. And then she like develops feelings for the dad, and now they're like sharing kind of like intimate moments together, and she's not said anything to the guy that she came here with. And it was too many layers of like bad behavior for me. I couldn't do it. And maybe someone else will enjoy it, but I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. Ugh. Up next is Afternoon on the Amazon from the Magic Treehouse series. I ended up with 2 of these. I don't know why, but I have like a box set of the first 8, and then I just had like this lone extra number 6, so someone else can read this because the Magic Treehouse is an excellent series. And I think everyone should read it. It's great. Up next is another duplicate of She Gets the Girl. I got an arc of this. I got 2 arcs of this. I think one of them was sent to me. I think maybe I picked one up from work and then the other one got sent like personally to me. But I don't need 2 arcs. So I want to give this to someone else because I really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna pass it on to a little free library or maybe a friend or something. Up next is The Duff. Now this is a book that I did finish and then I hated a little bit. I think I gave it like 2 stars because there's nothing like outright offensive in it. It's just like, it's real bad. I've watched the movie several times and I like the movie. I think it's like a fun little like chick flick teen rom-com. But this book is just like, I don't know, it's real like stereotypical teen lit in like the worst way you can imagine. It has none of the charm of the movie at all. And there's like, I feel like the love interest was really like sexist, and it was not great. It also kind of has like she's got like a friends with benefits thing going on with the love interest that just kind of like wasn't my cup of tea either. They're just not great people to each other, and I don't know. She's using him for sex to like distract herself from her other problems, and it was real messy and not in a fun way or in a way where anyone was redeemed at the end. And I just really like the movie a lot better than the book, so that needs to go. I don't need a reminder of that in the house. The last book I had already set aside was Green River Running Red by Ann Rule. So I read The Stranger Beside Me by Ann Rule, which is about Ted Bundy. Everything Ann Rule writes is a true crime book. And I really enjoyed that, and so I thought I'd try another one. This is about the Green River Killer, and it was pretty interesting, but it was just like pretty fat. Like there was a lot of writing, and I think it could have been pared down a bit, so it didn't really like capture me the way that the Ted Bundy one did. Also with Ted Bundy, like she had known him briefly, so like that was also another like element of interest that this one didn't have. So it was fine, but meh, you know, meh. So it's going somewhere else. So now we will get into the shelf of doom. I don't even know how to do this. We'll just start one end and I'll try and find things. Okay, for example, there's this, People of the Book by Geraldine Brooks. I can't remember what it's about. What does it say? Hannah Heath, an Australian rare book expert, has been offered the job of lifetime analysis and conservation of the famed Sarajevo Haggadah? Rescued from Serb shelling during the Bosnian War. Priceless and beautiful, the book is one of the earliest Jewish volumes ever to be illuminated with images. When Hannah discovers a series of tiny artifacts in its ancient binding, an insect wing fragment, wine stains, salt crystals, a white hair, she begins to unlock the book's mysteries, ushering in its exquisite and atmospheric past from its salvation back to its creation through centuries of exile and war. Inspired by a true story, People of the Book is a novel of sweeping historical grandeur and intimate emotional intensity. See, the problem is, every time I go through these shelves, I read the synopsis, I'm like, oh, that sounds like pretty good. And then I keep them all. I put this on maybe now, because I love books about books, so that's pretty good. Okay, Atonement by Ian McEwan. Like, I know it's this, you know, it's James McAvoy, Keira Knightley, she's got the green dress movie. I haven't seen it because I want to read the book first. How long have I had this book for and not read it? I don't know, but like years probably. Definitely years. Several years. Maybe even like half a decade or more. What is it even about? On a summer day in 1935, 13-year-old Bryony Tallis witnesses a moment's flirtation between her older sister, Cecilia, and Robbie Turner, the son of a servant, but Bryony's incomplete grasp of adult motives and her precocious imagination bring about the crime that will change all their lives. Crime whose repercussions Atonement follows through the chaos and carnage of World War II and into the close of the 20th century. I feel kind of meh about that synopsis, not gonna lie. But I think for now I'm gonna put it in the no thanks pile, because I don't know. It doesn't speak to me, you know, it doesn't speak to me. You've read People, We Meet on Vacation. It just doesn't speak to me. So we're gonna I think maybe get rid of that one. And we've got to be a little cutthroat here. I have a lot of books that I need to get rid of. Here's one that I've had forever. Fake Plastic Love by Kimberly Tate. And it says, when Em meets Belle at Dartmouth, they become the unlikeliest best friends. Belle is an unapologetic romantic, while Em is a tomboyish realist. Despite their differences, they are drawn together, and after graduation, they both move to New York with all the unfounded confidence of 22. Em secures a job at the city's most prestigious investment bank, and Belle turns her nostalgic aesthetic into one of the first viral lifestyle blogs. But as they are pulled deeper into their new lives and into the charming orbit of a Gatsby-esque new friend, Jeremy, style and substance and dreams and reality increasingly blur. In this fake plastic world, what do success, love, and happiness even look like? Well, I made it to page 4 at some point, apparently. Maybe I'll read, like, the first chapter of this and see how that goes. So I'll put this on the maybe pile, because it sounds like maybe interesting. I have an arc of Undrafted by Nick Kyprios, who is a hockey player. I like hockey, but I'm not, like, super deep in the lore or anything. And I don't know if I really... Like, I don't really know Nick Kyprios. I don't really care to know him. I think we're gonna let this one go. I'm never gonna read it, let's be honest. I'd rather read a different hockey book, probably. Okay, A World Without You by Beth Revis. Ooh. Can you hear that? I don't know if I've ever opened this book before. I did like Beth Revis's other books, the Across the Universe series. She forces her children to watch Doctor Who and Firefly. Doctor Who. Nice. Good job, Beth Revis. 17-year-old Beau has always had delusions that he can travel through time. When he was 10, Beau claimed to have witnessed the Titanic hit an iceberg, and at 15 he found himself on a Civil War battlefield, horrified by the bodies surrounding him. So when his worried parents send him to a school for troubled youth, Beau assumes he knows the truth, that he's actually attending Berkshire Academy, a school for kids who, like Beau, have superpowers. At the academy, Beau falls in love with Sophia, a quiet girl with a tragic past and the superpower of invisibility. Sophia helps Beau open up in a way he never has before. In turn, Beau provides comfort to Sophia, who lost her mother and 2 sisters at a very young age. But even the strength of their love isn't enough to help Sophia escape her deep depression. After she commits suicide, Beau is convinced that she's not actually dead. He believes that she's stuck somewhere in time and that he somehow left her in the past and that now it's his job to save her. And as Beau becomes more and more determined to save Sophia, he must decide whether to face his demons head-on or succumb to a psychosis that will let him be with the girl he loves. Okay, that one sounds really interesting, actually. Keep that one. Charles Dickens. I can't read his books. I can't do it. I had a series of abridged graphic novel classics, and I read Great Expectations, and I was like, oh my god, this is so fascinating. I love this. I wanted to read Great Expectations, and my parents had Oliver Twist, and I was like, oh, I'll start there. So far in my entire life, I have made it to page 24. I've had this since I was like a tween, I think. I'm pretty sure it's my parents, but like I've had it on my bookshelf since I was a tween, and I've only made it to page 24. I know Charles Dickens is like a classic, you know, with like Shakespeare, and then there's like Charles Dickens. But dear God, does he write like him and Victor Hugo, where they're just like, let me explain to you something for 20 pages. And you're like, okay, I'll go along with it. And at the end, they're like, you need to know that. But anyways, moving on. And I'm like, why did you? I mean, I know why they spent 20 pages. It's because they're being paid by the word or by the page, whichever it was. So like, I get it. I understand. But it makes for the dullest reading experience ever. So I think maybe I just need to give this back to my parents, because I'm never going to read Oliver Twist. All I know is that, you know, please mom, have some more. And that's all I ever need to know. I know it's an orphan and it's sad. Finding Forrester. I watched this movie in high school, and then I found this in a little free library, and it's actually a school copy from my high school. So I don't know how it got into a little free library, but it's like incredibly water damaged too. But I thought I would just read it quickly because it's less than 200 pages. So I thought I would just like read it and then stick it back in a free library. And I think that's still a decent plan. I can probably rip through this. Like, look at the writing. It's like a middle grade novel, so I can rip through that in an afternoon. I just have to like actually do it, you know? That's always the hardest part of these things. Up next is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. This one, another little free library pick. And I've heard it's actually good, I think. I think this one or Crime and Punishment that I've heard is actually really good. Maybe it's Crime and Punishment. These are like Bible pages. Like, they're so thin. Like, I can like almost see through this. will it just sit on my shelf forever? I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile for now because like it's so chonky. Yeah, it's ginormous parsnip. It's 1,444 pages. Yeah, that's a lot, I know. So like, you know, am I ever gonna read that? I don't know, I read The Stand. I don't remember anything about it. I'm putting it in the maybe pile for now. So up next I have the Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens. It's just really pretty and old and gold. And I probably won't ever read this, to be honest. It's got like pictures in it. And I got it because I love Little Women, and in Little Women they like pretend that they're part of this book and they have like their little club and they do like the Pickwick Chronicles, like the newspaper. So I bought this because I was like, maybe I'll read it. And I don't think I'll ever read it, but I'll still keep it because it's a lovely little tome. I should have set a goal for like how many books I want to get rid of, but I did not. So we'll see how it goes. Another mountain book. Maybe I should also like sort this into like classics and then like mountain books. So seem to be kind of two of the main things we've got going on right now. Dracula. I don't know if you guys are on Tumblr, but Tumblr's right now doing like the Dracula Daily thing where there's like some dude who has figured out the timeline of Dracula, and then he like will email you whatever was happening in Dracula, like the actual text of that day on the day it's like happening, so you can kind of like experience Dracula in real time. And Tumblr's like going crazy for it. They're basically just taking like a class almost for fun. And I signed up for them and I'm already way behind. So maybe I should just like read a bunch in here until, you know, we get to the part where we're at, and then I can read the emails. It's only like 74 pages. Yeah, I should do that. Probably won't, but I should. I have this arc for Once Upon a KProm by Kat Cho that was sent to me. I'm not into K-pop at all. Like, I think that makes me a social pariah now. But I've not gotten into K-pop, at least not yet. I don't know, there's still potential. I'm very a fandom-y kind of person. And it sounds kind of interesting, but I also don't know if I really want to invest time into this. Hello, are you going to be on my TBR shelf now? Okay. But yeah, I don't know if I really am interested enough to keep this. It is like a childhood friends to lovers, which appeals to me, and a prom story, which is always fun. But like the whole K-pop thing doesn't really appeal to me. I don't really know how that fandom works. There's like bias and stuff. I don't know. I should just get rid of this one too, because when I have arcs around, they kind of like weigh on my soul a little bit, you know, where I'm like, oh, I should really do a review of this, but like I didn't ask for this one. This was sent unsolicited to me, which I appreciate. I do like being sent books. Please. Thanks. Please continue to send me books, publishers. But I just don't think this one's for me. I'll get rid of that one. Okay, here's another classic that like Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. I've heard great things about, but I've also heard that, you know, it's like a white dude writing about Japan and like it's kind of racist. Seamless authenticity. Apparently that's not actually true. In Memoirs of a Geisha, we enter a world where appearances are paramount, where a girl's virginity is auctioned to the highest bidder, where women are trained to beguile the most powerful men, and where love is scorned as illusion. It is a unique and triumphant work of fiction, at once romantic, erotic, suspenseful, and completely unforgettable. And just like a man writing about that feels a little like sus to me. Like I know it's supposed to be fiction, but if it's like racist and like weird like fetishism of the geisha, then like I'll just get rid of it. I'll just unburden myself, you know? Sense and Sensibility, I do want to read. I will keep that. Jane Austen, I still want to read. I read Pride and Prejudice and Emma and thought they were all right. And like I was like, yeah, good. So I don't think I'll ever be like a huge Jane Austen stan, but I do want to read them. Okay, I have The Maid. I got an arc of this through work again. But this is The Maid by Nita Prose, and this is kind of like a cozy mystery where there's Molly Gray, who's kind of like charmingly eccentric. I think she might supposed to be like coded on the autism spectrum, but someone like in the hotel that she works up shows up dead, and so she's kind of trying to solve it. And I've heard like some people really like it and some people are like, she's like too quirky and like kind of weird. I read like a little bit of it. It didn't really speak to me. I was gonna start saying that all the time now. Damn you, Emily Henry. Because like the first little prologue, I was like, ooh, intriguing. And then I started to read it and then it just kind of meh. Once again, being like seduced by the cover and everything. So I think I will get rid of this one as well because I don't really read mysteries usually and I don't read cozy mysteries. So I don't know what I was thinking. The Language of Flowers by Vanessa Diffenbach. Ooh, look how pretty. It's got fancy letters. You see how I end up with all these books? I'm like, ooh, how pretty, and then it just devolves. Okay, We Are All His Creatures, The Tales of P.T. Barnum, The Greatest Showman by Deborah Noyes. Another arc that I think I requested this one, and I thought it was more like true stories, but it's kind of like fiction, like short stories about P.T. Barnum's life and like people from his circus. And I started to read it a little bit, but I don't think it's what I wanted. I think this is more like kind of middle grade-ish, and I don't think this is gonna do it for me. So we're gonna get rid of that too. Okay, actually, I think that's all the books that I want to get rid of. I'm going to do a little bit of organization though. So I got rid of a few of them. A lot of these were arcs. I think I just need to like not let arcs get the better of me, you know? Because I see them and I'm like, oh, I have to make a review. I have to do a review on this. And then I'm like, I didn't even ask for this. This wasn't one of the ones that I wanted. It's also interesting seeing what I've used as bookmarks. Lots of Kleenex. This is the receipt for this book. So that's fun. You've got a bookmark in you too. It's my name tag from when I worked at the home improvement store. I don't know if I'll actually have made much room at all, but I made maybe a little bit of room, so what I really need is just more bookshelves. I think this actually made a fair amount of room, because then I can put all my arcs together. I did grab the arc of Harlem Shuffle by Colson Whitehead at work, because I read Nickel Boys by him, which I really enjoyed, and I read The Underground Railroad, which I don't really remember. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll give this one a shot. And I read 58 pages of it and was just kind of meh about it again. I think I get rid of this one too. I think a lot of these I'm like the cover's really cool, but also I'm like, maybe I'll be a literary fiction bitch. And I'm not, that's not me. Who is she? It's not me. So I'm trying to like trick myself into being like a literary fiction person, and I'm really not. Like, I'll enjoy it every now and then, but that's at my core. I am a YA and like romance person. So it's not gonna happen. There are too many books that I really want to read, and I probably just like won't end up getting to this one. So I think I will also get rid of that. I have my 3 books for my maybe pile. So we have War and Peace, Fake Plastic Love, and People of the Book, and I will keep them on my shelf for now. And let me know if you've read any of them and if it is worth it, or maybe they're like not great at all and I should just get rid of them. But I'll keep them there for now, and next time I try and go through and get rid of some books, I will look at them first. But this is a decent stack that I have, actually. Oh god, I don't even know if I can pick all these up. But this is my stack. These are my books I'm getting rid of. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. An insect when, oh my god, I can't talk. Here she is, the tiny cat. Okay, there she goes. Perfect torrent of lovemaking. Dracula, what are you doing? Surprise now. Baby. Oh, she's a machine. She's a struggle machine too.